I'm Zwelethu Radebe and I'm a South African filmmaker. I'm a writer-director. I recently made a film called The Hangman, which is a short film. I work in the television commercial space as well, so I direct TV ads. And I work for a production company called Egg Films. But over and above, I think I'm an African filmmaker. I tell stories that I believe I'd like to have celebrate our continent, celebrate storytelling from an African point of view. So that's my agenda as a filmmaker. I looked at my life before I decided to be a filmmaker. I didn't even know what a director was. I saw films and I thought to myself, I want to be able to do that. I actually thought a director was the guy behind the camera. There are directors who go behind the camera, but I felt that directing was me being able to kind of express myself in a way that I wasn't able to articulate myself in the real world. So I found a way to express myself through cinema. Because every time I shoot, I love it. It's a blessing for me to be on set doing what I love. So every time I'm on set, for me is an amazing experience. And I think that changes my life because I'm able to do what I love and get better at it. My name is Zwelethu Radebe and I'm a South African filmmaker. I'm telling the story of the hangman. You sometimes say, okay, this is the vision I have, but I have to compromise with X, Y, and Z because resources aren't there or finances aren't there or the actor I have dropped me in the last minute. So the hardest experiences are getting there. I think not necessarily being on set, because once you're on set, it is what it is. I've been fortunate to not have it rain on me and not be able to shoot for an entire week. I've been able to not have to work with difficult actors who maybe we clash. I've been fortunate not to be able to, so I think right now, this is just maybe, I'll think about it later when I get home, maybe there's something that will pop up, but right now I can't think of anything. I think ideas being bombed from a creative point of view happen all the time. It's just, you gotta be, I mentioned being bold. You gotta be bold and sell your idea as far as you can, and if they push back, it's fine. It's not easy. I think you get used to it. I think you'll be surprised that a lot of I follow a lot of the stories of the great directors and their ideas were crushed and bombed all the time. But you've got to have enough conviction and belief in your own idea to not have someone else tell you whether or not it's going to work. So if they do bomb it in a commercial space, then it's okay, because I wouldn't lose all the time. You lose and you win. And I think losing makes you better. The more you lose, the better you'll become. So having ideas bombed just makes me better. It's hard to find your voice as a filmmaker. What is your agenda? What legacy do you want to have? And I think as a filmmaker, you have to think about that. You're not just making films for your own self. Because then I can just have my own DVD shelf and have my own movies there for myself, which is, again, very selfish. So it's being aware of an audience. I'm talking from my point of view, is that being aware from an audience, but also what point, the films that I want to make, I want them to be thought-provoking and challenging. But they challenge ideas that people might think have been resolved, but they actually haven't been. That's what I want to be able to be remembered for, is that you look at an era, whether it's apartheid, you look at an era, whether it's 2017. When you look back at it in 2027, you look at, I wanted to look at an unconventional approach on how the stories were looked at that time. But ultimately telling an African story. I don't think I'll tell stories that don't have an African element to them. From a movie point of view, the largest project is definitely The Hangman. It's consumed my life for quite a bit, and it still is even now. And I say it not in a bad way, but in a very good way, is that the film, I wrote it some years ago as a short film. What the short film became from what it was changed tremendously, because I workshopped the story. I got selected at the Durban International Film Festival with that story to workshop it as a writer. And that was in 2013. The film changed from then to 2014 to 15, and then I shot the film in 2016. The film was released beginning of this year, or in February, and has kind of gone to various international film festivals and still traveling now. The film is also being written into a feature film length.
Mama Vula! Mama Vula!
I grew as a filmmaker in terms of how do I tell a story that's true to authentic? How do you make a film feel real? And it's actually not trying to it's not trying to, I think what I learned was how to make an African story, or attempt to, without having to try and borrow from Western conventions. When I told that story, I just told it from what I knew as an African. I don't try and reference things from America or from Europe. I just thought this is what I know the best, you know. When it resonates, it's because it's true. So I looked at a story that looked at identity, male identity, or father and son. Father and son stories are unique all over the world, you know. And I felt that being able to tell the hangman in the way that I did allowed people to tap into a story that was universally kind of compelling in a way. So.
Wasishiya singena lutho ngayifundisa khona la ejele.
For me, the advice I'd give people is that if you want to do it, and don't wait for somebody to do it for you. So if you want to direct, you can get a couple of your friends and you can have a 5D or a cell phone and you can make a film. I made a film with my friends from an 8mm camera that my dad had. And I used to use a bicycle as a track, and we used to use the, you know, there was like a steel rod as a crane, up. So I was making movies before I even went to film school. When I was still I was 12, making movies like in the outside on the streets with my friends, you know. So then there wasn't even what we have today, you know. So you know, there's no excuse not to just do it today. You know, if you want to act, you act in front of the mirror. You want to act, you can act with you know, go to a school play, go to a church play, go to the market theatre and say, I want to act. If you're a tree in the background, everybody starts somewhere. The funny thing is for me is that because of the way society is today, nobody realizes that there's a journey before you get somewhere. People always just want to succeed, but they don't know that people have to go, there's a process, you know. So don't get a quick fix on stuff. Don't just say I want to arrive because, oh, somebody just arrived there. Nobody just arrived there, I can guarantee you. So it's a process, and everybody's process is unique to them. You know, you can look at someone else's story, but your story won't be like theirs. So just enjoy your own journey, I would say. So it might take time, but I think the longer it takes, the better it will be. I think if it just happens overnight, it might destroy you more than it will help you. Yeah. My name is Zwelethu Radebe, and this is Flick Africa.